Alrighty, I saw this article on the X. A lady of Pakistani heritage telling the English they're not a distinct people. No surprise there. Anyway, I'll pop in the video and we'll take it from there.
I mean, in minority homes, generally speaking, English usually means white. From your point of view, you've gone past that.
I think so. I think definitely when I was younger, everybody would have said if you're saying someone is English, what you really mean is they're white. I think that is a little bit less true today, as more of us are settled.
To be English is to be white. This woman says it's less true today. I would say it's even more true today. All you have to do is look at that Restore Britain party. It was formed like what? A couple months ago, if I'm not mistaken, and it's skyrocketing in the polls. And there's mass protests and rallies of English people and even non-English people who say, hey, English are white.
In England, as you've seen the rise of sort of Scottish civic identity and Welsh civic identity. You know, if England were playing Scotland in a football match, I know who I'm supporting. I wouldn't even think twice about supporting anyone other than England.
And if they're playing Pakistan at cricket?
Exactly the same, England all the way. So because of that, I think over the last few years, you've seen more of a sense of confidence amongst minority communities to consider themselves English. But also I think English is not a race identity so much as it is a civic and national identity. And that is definitely the perspective I have of it.
So she says being English isn't a race. No, it's not. It's an ethnic group. It's not a civic identity. It's not a national identity. It's an ethnic group, which is part of what race? The white race. She says, oh, well, I support the English football team and the English cricket team. Yeah? That doesn't make you a native Anglo-Saxon. Here's another interesting video I found.
This is so simple, I can't understand why people are trying to tell me you can be black and English, okay? You can't. If you're looking at what makes an Englishman, you're looking at Anglo-Saxons, Celts, and Vikings. They're the main three. Let's just use those to just be simple. There's more to it, but let's just use simple terminology because people aren't understanding. Okay, so that would mean you would come from countries like Scandinavia, Germany, and Denmark.
So why do Danes, Germans, and Anglo-Saxons look the same, look similar? They're part of the Germanic ethnic group. You got your Nordic Germans, you got your German Germanics, and you got your Franks. I think there was a fourth called the Vandals, but I think they went into North Africa and died out. So the Anglo-Saxons, the Dutch, Germans, and Austrians and Swiss, they're part of the same German ethnic group. That's why they look so much the same. I remember a story I read about during the Franco-Prussian War where a whole whack of French soldiers or people mistook an Englishman for a German. Why? Because German and English look very similar. The English or Anglo-Saxon might be a bit of Celtic in there, but that's about it. It's always nice to see individuals like this stand up for the native English, native European. I've cut this video up a bit to save time. That being said, I'm going to play this part.
You can. Every country was created through migration, and it's whoever built up that country is whose country it belongs to, okay? People come from somewhere. So China didn't just become China. It was migrated to, and the reason why people forget that is because their history is longer, but that's it. The history went on longer for Chinese people. That's why people say Chinese people are Chinese. It's the same with English. English people are English. It's just they don't have as much history, but it's the same thing.
So I like her video. There's one little thing I have a problem with. When she talks about how people immigrated to China and they built China and it became Chinese, and people all know who Chinese are, it's not because the Chinese history is longer. It's because the Chinese don't tolerate the woke, all-inclusive crap. They know who are the immigrants. They know they're Chinese and everybody else is an immigrant. Meanwhile, the English and white people in general are constantly taught that whiteness is just a construct. The whole, our differences are only skin deep. No, ethnic and racial stuff, that goes right to the bone. That's genetics. That's not just lack of melanin or something. That's right to the bone. Well, anyway, that's it for my thoughts on the matter. Take care out there in clown world.